Hey, so I'm going to take you through some strength exercises for running. Pretty easy body weight stuff. All you need is a wall. All the movements are going to be slow and controlled. And I'll explain to you as we go where you should be feeling them. So you're going to start on the wall and you're going to come onto your side. You're going to bring your feet together onto the wall. And you want to be about 90 degrees flexion in your knees. You're going to press both feet into the wall. So both feet press flat into the wall. So I have a little bit of a skirting board there and that's fine. You can relax your head down then. So first thing you're going to do is that top knee is you're going to send it forward. So you want that top hip to come forward a little bit. So you're rotating a little bit through those hips. So that top knee comes forward and then you're going to lift as high as you can go without the foot coming off the wall. So I really find if I press down into the wall, it really helps. So pressing down through the foot, especially the big toe mound, and you should feel this top glute here really fire. Now, other hand can come forward for support if you need. And the goal here now is to try and get this bottom leg to lift. It may lift, it may not, but you're just going to try and contract through the inner thigh there to lift that leg without that top leg sliding down. We're going to go for about 10 reps here, nice and slow. 2. So round a little bit through your spine like you've been punched in the stomach. Breathing helps. Pressing down through both feet. You should feel this glute firing and this inner thigh working as you go. So just as you would when you're stabilizing through running. Ooh, slipped because I'm pressing too hard. 9. Let's do one more here. Nice. I'm going to turn away from the camera, so I'll still keep talking you through it. So bring those feet again flat against the wall. So we're going straight onto the other side. Hips and knees are about 90 degrees. And then you're going to round a little bit through your spine, so not arching through that low back, so more of a round posterior tilt. And then front knee is going to come forward, top knee is going to come forward, and then lift up as high as you can, so you're keeping that tension in the outside of the glute. Pressing that big toe mound into the wall, and any amount trying to lift through that bottom leg. So we're getting that top glute firing, and that bottom inner thigh working. We're going for 10 reps. I think nice and slow. Find it helpful to exhale as I lift. So if you don't get much lift, that's fine. You should feel that tension and pressure through that inner thigh. One more. It may take some time to get things working, to get the nervous system going, to get your brain working down into there as well. So we're then going to come, so with feet about 90 degrees, you're going to actually extend back a little bit on the wall here. So your legs can come to straight, but you're going to keep a little bit of a soft bend in those knees. So again, we're going to be pressing through the toe mounds. Hands are going to come back behind the head, but you're not going to lift your head. Your head's going to stay on the ground the whole time. So we're getting a little bit of a rotational movement through the abs here. Breath is important. So you're going to lift one leg up. Other toe mound pushes into the wall, and then you're going to lift that shoulder up and come across the body. So again, head stays still, but you're getting that contraction through the core. Inhale, come down. So we're going to do about 20 nice and slow here. Exhale. Inhale, come down. Exhale. Really try and press into the wall. Rotate through that chest, lift the shoulder, and then coming down. So it's about the control here, not moving through fast, coming down slow, and then getting that compression. So through the hip flexor, through the core, and that little bit of rotation. So essentially everything's staying still here, but you're moving, rotating through those hips. You're rotating through that upper body, so that upper body's rounding across. Really press down through the foot, the toe mound that's on the wall. Try and keep looking straight up, not like I just did. Totally lost count of reps, so let's go 8 more. See if you can find that more breath on the exhale, drawing down through the front of the ribs. the knee, more about getting a little bit of that rotation, getting that contraction. Last one here. And then relaxing down. You can move your back, do anything that you need, and then shuffle into the wall so your legs are back more around 90 degrees. So here we're going to get the legs working a little bit more. You're going to tuck through your pelvis, so you're pressing that low back down into the ground a little bit until your tailbone starts to lift. So let's do that again, do that rock. So pressing the low back down into the ground and then the tailbone lifts, so you're getting that tension a little bit through the glutes. Press your feet into the wall and then imagine pulling the heels down the wall the whole time. So one foot's going to stay there, the other leg's going to lift up. So this might be enough to hold in this position. You might be feeling it a lot in those hamstrings. So keeping that a little bit of a tuck through the pelvis. So this knee you can draw in, do whatever you like with it so it can be nice and relaxed. And then with the other foot, you're going to try and push up onto your toes, so getting those calves and that whole back of the leg posterior chain working. We're going to do about 10 reps on each side. So really important here is to try and keep the pressure evenly through the big toe mount and the little toe mount. Really not letting that pressure come off the wall, really pushing down through the wall. Keep sliding. Imagine sliding the foot down the wall, so it's not actually going to move, but you're just getting that tension in the hamstrings. You should feel it a lot in your calf. One more. And then relax all the way down, bring the hips down. Take a little rest before you go on to the other side. So pushing into the wall first, imagine sliding the foot down until you feel that tension in the back of the legs. Press that low back into the ground and then lift that leg up so that tailbone's off the ground. You're getting that tension in the hamstrings and then lifting up onto that toe. I'm going to go for 10 again. Keep that breathing nice and relaxed. Really try and push through evenly through the big toe to the little toe mount. And one more. And coming all the way down. Nice. We're going to go back to that first exercise. So where you're laying on your side, those feet about 90 degrees, and hopefully this time you might feel a little bit more. You're starting to get everything woken up a little bit, getting your nervous system to work. So pressing both feet into the wall. So if you've got a skirting board, I like to put that top foot above the skirting board. Press the top knee forward so those hips rotate, rounding a little bit through that back, and then lifting that top leg as high as you can without that foot rotating off the wall. So really pressing down through that foot. So if you feel it in that top glute, and then bringing that top knee up towards that bottom knee and then coming down. Try and keep your neck and upper body relaxed. I was just really tensing to try and make that happen. Good. Really keep pushing down through the foot. I feel this a lot in the glute. It is really good to have a non-slip mat as well, so you're not sliding all over the place on the floor. Oops, and sometimes feet are more grippy, sometimes socks seems to be more grippy. If you've got grippy socks, that probably should wear my Pilates socks. Let's do one more here. Oh, nice. Turning over onto the opposite side. So hopefully you can still hear me okay. Feet flat onto the wall, so in that 90-degree position. Set yourself up so you're rounding a little bit through that spine. And then front knee is going to drive forward. So bringing that top hip into rotation. And then lifting that top knee up, pressing down through that front foot. So pressing down through the whole ball of the foot and then lifting that bottom leg up any amount. So you can feel that inner thigh trying to work hard to get up to that top leg. Keep pressing through the wall with the top foot. Relax a little bit through the upper body, so sending the tension down to that lower body. See if you can lift higher in that top leg without that foot coming away from the wall. Still pressing down through that big toe mound, really get that glute active. And one more here. And then coming all the Coming back into that core exercise, so runner's core exercise I like to call it. So feet on the wall a little. Now you can play with the different foot positions here. You can work with trying to get flat foot onto the wall, so we can do that for this rep as well. So pushing through the foot, big toe mound, and then bringing that arm across the body again, exhale. Make sure you stay there for that whole exhale. Head staying on the ground. This is more about that control, pressing through the opposite side as you're getting that through that rotation. The shoulder comes off. Try not to tense too much in the neck to get that shoulder off. Really feel that contraction through here. So it's about learning how to contract through the core as well. Again, staying there for that whole exhale. You'll find that the range, you'll be able to go a little bit further the more reps you do. So don't push it too far at the start. Again, stay there for that whole exhale. As you can see, when I do that, you can get that little bit of a shake in me. My core is starting to work really hard here. Draw that knee up a little bit higher. One more on each side. And then coming all the way down. Relax. Coming in a little bit closer to the walls. Don't you love that this has all been on the ground? A little bit closer to the wall, so those knees are about 90 degrees. We're going to tuck through the pelvis again, so pressing the low back down to the ground. So getting a little bit of that posterior pelvic tilt and then lifting that tailbone slightly. So you'll feel, if you really try and imagine drawing the heels down, you should feel your hamstring starting to work here. And then you're going to lift up one leg, so you can bring that knee into your chest, do anything you like with it, and then pressing through the toe, coming up onto the big toe mound, and then coming down slow. You can make it a little bit more explosive, just don't let that toe come off the ground, and keep trying to imagine dragging that toe down towards the floor so you really feel that hamstring fire. Last one. And then coming all the way down, changing sides, so finding that setup again, pressing that low back down to the ground. Spread out through the toes on one foot, bring the opposite leg in. So getting that tension first, pulling the toes down the wall, and then lifting that tailbone a little, pressing through the big toe mound, coming down slow, and press. So that's so much harder for me. Exactly why I'm doing this. Keep trying to pull those toes down to get that hamstring active. And then relaxing all the way down. You can draw those knees into your chest, rock a little side to side. And you can go through one more round if you feel up to it. So going through the side knee, the core exercise, and then that calf lift again as well, or you can turn the video off and have a great day. Good little quick, concise, some strengthening stuff for running. It's all about the quality of the movement over than the quantity. It doesn't have to go on forever. Have a great rest of your day.